Hello, and welcome to episode 181 of The Joy of Coding. Hopefully this is episode 181 and you're watching, you're able to watch. I'm having some technical difficulties with my repeater. That's the thing that allows me to broadcast across Air Mozilla, Twitch, and YouTube, and it's not working for some reason. So I'm only broadcasting across sorry, I'm receiving some updates from the people who kind of manage the repeater. And let me see here. Did I miss doing something? At any rate, so I'm only broadcasting on Air Mozilla today. I apologize if you missed the live stream because of that. Hopefully this is not a repeat occurrence. Hopefully this doesn't happen too often. Here we go. Let's get started. It is July 3rd, 2019, episode 181. Standard preamble, no plan survives breakfast. If the repeater is any indicator, things go wrong. I might get sidetracked. I have some sense of what I want to work on today, but I might, screw up, or I might get stuck, or I might, who knows what'll happen. I'm capturing software development in the raw without any preparation. Beyond an idea of what I want to work on. So if things go wrong, that's okay. Second thing is there is an agenda. That's what we're looking at right now, and this is available to you. If you're watching this on Air Mozilla, then check out the handout section over here because that's where there's a link. And if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link down below. And if you're watching this on Twitch, you can't be watching this on Twitch because I'm not broadcasting on Twitch right now. So I'm not even gonna bother dropping it into the Twitch chat. It's kind of sad. Let's get into it. There is an episode guide in the agenda if you follow the links, and it's got, I think, episodes up to 180. It's up to date from last week. Thank you again to Smurf D, who's been so diligently keeping that up to date. And if you're interested in participating and contributing, there are guides here in the agenda. There are links to follow. If you want to add your own notes, addenda, corrections, expand on something that I talked about, or maybe, I don't know, add some more context to something I covered. Maybe you have some insight that I didn't have that you want to supply as part of the episode guide. That is something you have access to. So what I want to... Hang on, I'm still talking to the person who normally manages this. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get going. What do I want to work on? Well, a couple of things. I'm thinking there's like a two-prong attack, something we can do when we're blocked, maybe waiting on a build or waiting on information. And there's something that we can do on my Windows machine. So we're going to be flipping back and forth between Windows and my Mac here. So let me first connect to my Windows machine. Let me bring this over here, and I can't hear my password. And then let us, yeah, I've got my Windows box here. Here's the bug I want to try. I've been investigating for a couple of days now. It's related to how the mouse moves and how the mouse works at the edges of the screen. Now, if you notice, the mouse works properly here, where like you get to the edge of the screen, the little like the left and right arrows appear to tell you that you can resize. Same thing over here in the corner. But if you go to the top, if you kind of float your mouse to the top, there's this weird behavior where the mouse changes back to the pointer despite the fact that you can like see it's the pointer right now, but if I click and I drag, then it's the resize. It's the resize. It should be showing me the resize cursor, but it's not. This is resizing, not moving, and yet I'm seeing the pointer. And so it kind of it makes it seem as if it's more difficult to try to resize the window because we use that cursor for a hint. I don't know why that's happening, but I don't know why that's happening, but I am the regressor. I caused this with the picture-in-picture stuff I've been working on. In particular, we're listening for non-client mouse move events and dispatching those if they happen to be, if they happen to be actually over browser content, then we dispatch these mouse move events normally, and that appears to be what's causing the problem. At least that's what my bisection tells me. So this is one of the things I'm hoping to investigate today. I've already done some investigation, but it's tricky. It's slow going because this isn't the sort of thing where I have easy access to RR. I don't have RR at all. I haven't been able to get time travel debugging working on this machine with the new WinDebug yet. So we have to do printf debugging, which is okay, but it's a little slow going. And we're going to be taking notes throughout. So in fact, let me make sure I have a set of notes. This is this one. It is very difficult to resize by dragging top border of browser if title bar is disabled. That is the bug. And if you want to follow along, here it is. So I'm actually gonna make sure that that's set up here properly. Yeah. So here's what I'm going to write down what I've already determined. What is not responsible? The cached hit test point. So in the Windows backend, if the mouse is moving a lot, normally we dispatch a bunch of events to Gecko, but I believe in the event that a small enough window of time has passed since the last hit test was performed, then we just return that hit test point, the cached one. If we might be over a draggable area, we will return the cached hit test point. And that, I originally thought that may have been the problem, is that we had some like a cache invalidation issue, which is a classic computer science problem. But disabling the cache entirely did not fix it. The cached hit test point is not responsible. What else is not responsible? I thought it might have to do with these, we have these special events that we can subscribe to. It's very strange. Whenever in the Windows API, the Win32 API, whenever you want to know whether or not the mouse has left a window, like it's gone away, you can subscribe to these two messages: WM mouse leave, WM NC mouse leave. And WM mouse leave will fire when you transition from the client area to the non-client area. The client area being the stuff that the program is drawing as opposed to the operating system. That's what I mean by client area. And then you fire WM NC mouse leave. That's non-client. That's what the NC stands for. Whenever you transition from either non-client to client, or you leave the window entirely. And you actually have to explicitly subscribe to these every time you want one. You can't just sort of like wait for them to be dispatched to you. Every time you want one, you have to, you get to subscribe once, and then you will receive it once. And if you want it again, you have to subscribe again. And that's using an API called track mouse event, I believe. Track mouse event, which is this Windows API, Win32 API, and you describe what exactly you are subscribing to. Mouse leave is one of the things, and C mouse leave. These are the two that I'm interested in. I don't think these are responsible, and the way I know that is because I logged subscribing and handling subscribing to and handling these messages, and in both the good and the bad cases, there was no difference to our subscribing or handling of these events. Here's what I know is somewhat responsible. Somewhat may be responsible. I can highlight a section of code, actually. So I started basically commenting stuff out just to see how I could affect the bug. And there's the, where is it? WM, no client mouse move. So this is whenever the message we receive whenever we are moving the mouse over the non-client area. And that would be the draggable stuff like the caption. And we do the special thing where if we're within a draggable region, then we start tracking the non-client mouse leave. And I started to log that. And then over here, this is the responsible line. We dispatch a normal mouse move to event back into the event loop. So like we kind of redirect. We redirect so that it seems as if the mouse moved over the client area. And WM mouse move is up here. And I'm not sure what's going on, but I tracked it down to this. Dispatching the actual mouse event, the mouse move event, if I disable this in the event that we're in the, we set a Boolean when we're in here. Actually, we set the Boolean here if we're within the draggable region. We check it twice, and if we skip this, if we're in the draggable area, then the problem goes away. In fact, I should demonstrate that just to be absolutely clear, just to be absolutely sure. So if not in the draggable area, and then while we wait for this to build, I'll introduce the second problem that we're looking at today, or the second set of problems. So let me build this just to demonstrate. Okie dokie. So while we're waiting for that to build, the other problem is I maintain an add-on called Tab Submit Basic. This one's for Ryan VM. I don't know if he watches this stream, but I built this effectively for him. He's one of our, he does a lot. And he ends up using Bugzilla a lot in a lot of our tools. And one of the things that he likes to do is to be able to, basically, if you have a form, submit the form but in a new tab. So if you have like a web form and there's like a bunch of stuff you fill out and there is a submit button, you can like hold down, how's it work? Click on any input and hold down a meta key. So if you hold down the meta key, like command, and you click on the submit button, then the submit will occur in a new tab. Like you'll have the old form still there, but the form will be submitted and the response loaded in a new tab. And I said, I made this during a bout of insomnia for Ryan VM because that guy saves our butt daily, and it's true. And an issue was filed very recently saying Middleclick no longer works. Not sure exactly how this relates to one, since it was definitely working for me at one point in time. I was able to track down the behavior change for me to when this bug landed. So Ryan VM actually found a regression range, inconsistent pop-up behavior, document body in DOM events. This was 3 months ago in our DOM events code. Depending on where add event listener is attached, which event is acted on, a new tab initiated on user click may be erroneously or unreliably blocked by the pop-up blocker. None of the new tabs created on the example page should be blocked. They are all initiated upon a user click. So Stop dispatching click events for non-primary mouse clicks on the web. That might have something to do with it. It's against the spec, and the AugsClick event is now available and easier to use. So what is it that... Whoop. A message here in live hacking. There's nothing plays on Mozilla Air unless it requires WebGL. I'm not sure if it's an issue on my side. Ruh-roh. Am I not actually streaming? That would be so tragic. Let me see if I can find it. I put the links. Let's see here. Hang on. Let me open this in a new personal tab without my... Is this loading? Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna pass this along. MCIR, yes, a bit of a snafu with stream setup today, and it's not listed on the air.mozilla.org site right now. Here's a direct link. Also, unfortunately, no cross streaming to YouTube or Twitch, since it appears as if my repeater is broken. Yes, you were live on Airmo at 1080p. Great. Let's get back to what we were doing. So it looks like we had this like we were firing these old auxiliary click events for non-primary mouse clicks on the web. So maybe we don't fire those anymore for middle clicks. Let's find out. Click event listener demo. Let's find just a quick click event listener demo. Sure, W3 schools. So, hello world. Okay, now I'm gonna do it with middle click. Aha, nothing. Now what happens if I make this AugsClick? AUX. Run. Aha, okay, so that's the problem. I have to update. I have to update the content.js frame script. So MCIR says, does Mozilla Air require WebGL or WebRTC? Since nothing plays under that link for me. No, I don't believe so. It shouldn't. No, not that I'm aware of. I don't know why it wouldn't be loading for you. So tragic. Why can't people watch my stream? I don't know why you wouldn't be able to watch it, MCIR. I guess you'll have to watch the recording. Maybe you're watching the recording even right now. Oh man, let's see. What could it be? Do you have privacy badger or tracking protection enabled? I've heard that will break Air Mozilla periodically. Okay. So the issue here is that in bug such and such, we stopped dispatching click events for middle clicks, which was never to spec anyways. Middle clicks for content documents, since that was never part of the spec. Instead, middle clicks cause us to fire AugsClick events. I'll update the web extension to listen for AugsClick as well. Comment. Now, he also makes reference to the first bug, which was opened back in 2015. Could you enable the add-on to work with Middleclick? I'm anonymous. Will Middleclick be enabled? I want this feature too. Middleclick. So maybe it worked at some point, but it stopped. But let's see if we can get it working. Let's do it. So here's where I have the code. Tab submit basic. What do version numbers even mean anymore? 0.4.0, and that was back in 2017. I don't know what the last update was. I had an unload event handler wipes out BF cache. Yeah, don't use those. Don't need to uninit. Yeah, definitely don't need to do that. So instead of, like, along with click, we should probably handle the AugsClick event. That's what we should do. So content.js, we're gonna fall through. I'm gonna say if we do AugsClick intentional fall through, event.button equals 1 or event.button equals 0 and metas. Actually, you know what? I think we're gonna always want to do it, not necessarily if the, like, this is checking a lot of like keys here. It's checking the meta keys, so we'll probably want to do like on AugsClick and not do an intentional fall through. But then we're gonna factor some of this stuff out on AugsClick. Guess we don't really need to do that stuff. You know what I really want to do is actually open this in Sublime. That'll be nice. And then I can probably take all of this stuff and factor it out. What does it do? It prevents the default or target. Stop propagation, set attribute, and then it redispatches the click. If old target, remove attribute target. I see. Redispatches the click. I wonder if we can just use form.submit. If the target is underscore blank, maybe we don't have to like do this click event too, because like I believe there is a the form API, an HTML form API. Let's where is form? Let's learn about forms. Let's look about forms. Look at forms. Form. HTML form element reference. These are forms. I want to know about the API on the form element. Can I call submit on it? I think I can, but I want to double check. Let's look at this. Is this a subframe? Whoopsie daisy. Like maybe we can use this as a, let's open this frame, show only this frame. Document.query selector form. Is there a form? Yes. Submit? Yes. Can call submit. Now what happens if I do query selector form, or hang on. What do I want to do here? Form let f equals that f set attribute target underscore blank f.submit. That will prevent the pop-up window. So yeah, we don't want to make the user like, that's probably why we do the click event, actually, is so that we're within an event handler for an actual user. Well, you know what? If we're handling a click event, here, let's try this. Document, add event listener, AugsClick, we're going to say f.submit. So let's see what happens if I do that. That works. So yeah, I can just call f.submit. I don't have to like call click.click. That is not necessary anymore. I can get the form and I can call form.submit. .submit. I think that will work. And then it like updates the attributes. If this is form button on AugsClick, this is form button. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna call it check click. Check for form click. Check for form click. And then the target, and we'll do form submit. That should do it. So now let us test this out. How will I do this? I'm going to close that tab. Instead, I'm going to open up About Debugging, and I'm going to load a temporary add-on. Tab submit. It's an old, I like did this in 2015. It was like one of my first web extensions. So let's try loading this thing. Tab submit basic, now installed. So let's reload this form. Or no, I need a form, not a, I was just there. Let's see, form, form. Where was I just? Where was I just? History, form, HTML elements, form example. Okay. So what would be ideal is a like submit button. There is no submit button, but let us add one. Form method post. I'm going to document create. There's definitely, I could probably find a different like example form, but whatever. Document.query selector form.append child. Come on, where are you? Is that a submit? This, oh, the save button is a submit button. Oh, so it is, so it is. Okay, wonderful. So what happens if I go like blah blah blah, middle click? Or okay, how about command click? So command click works. Middle click, not so much. Oh, I need to actually add the event listener. That's what I'm doing wrong. Add event listener, AugsClick, this true. Let us now reload the web extension, reload this form, middle click, A, and meta, hey, it appears to be working. Let's find some more forms. Form example. HTML form example. Get rid of dev tools. My build, like everything is kind of slow right now because I'm building in the background. Unfortunately, that's taking more time than I would like. I want to find a better form example. Well, HTML's, yeah, all right. Submit, middle click. Hooray, that worked. Command middle click. Hooray, that worked. What are the other configurations? It's like, if the event is control key, meta key, or shift key. Okay, so let's try shift. Yep. Control. Yep. Although the context menu also came up. And then, yeah, the middle click. Booyashaka. Try it yourself. So I think we're in good shape here. Now let's commit this. Git diff. I don't have any automated tests, unfortunately. But this is just like a little thing that I wrote for Orion VM. Handle AugsClick events for Middleclick. For Middleclick support, or maybe I should just say add Middleclick support. Via the AugsClick event. Now we're gonna push a release. So let's bump the version to version 0.4. Let's make it 0.5. Let's do that. And what else? Does the README need to be updated? Once you install it, it should inject meta key. I'll also add, hold down the meta key. When you click on A input with the middle, when you click on A input and hold down a meta key or use middle click. Or use middle click. Okay. Is there anything else I need to update to make this work? License 2015, authors, it's just me. Okay, so let us say that we've, what is it, 0.5? Okay, git add, readme, manifest, git commit, release 0.5.0. I'm gonna tag it 0.5.0, git push origin master, dash dash tags. So all the tags are gonna go up. Type in a password. Here we go. Tag goes out. And now I actually have to build it. WebExt build. Okay. And now I'm going to update it. So if I go to addons.mozilla.org, I can update the entry. I'm already logged in. Manage my submissions is what I want to do. And I want to update a new version. Last updated February 4th, over 2 years ago. So new version, 170 active users, that's pretty good. So let us find tab submit basic, where is it? Tab submit basic. Artifacts 0.5. Okay, continue. Do you need to submit source code? No, I don't have any obfuscated code. Release notes. Added middle click support. I'm gonna say intentional. Middle click used to work, but only because we were taking advantage of some unspec'd behavior that got fixed in Firefox. Which version was it fixed in? Fixed 54. 54. Notes to reviewer. No notes. Okay, that's it. Manage the listing. Let's take a look. I'm in queue position 42, so this might take a little while, but at least I can update the issues. I'm going to get the SHA of the commit. I can just grab the first couple characters, should be enough. And I'll say this is fixed in, this was fixed by commit such and such and will be part of the 0.5.0 release, which I just submitted to AMO. It will hopefully get through the review queue shortly. Comment and close. Added Middleclick support in such and such. All right, this was fixed. Okay, there we go. And that's it. We're done. We did it. Smurf D's like, Airmo's only stream today. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube so that people can watch this on YouTube, but yeah, it's gonna be you know, it's a little unfortunate. I like to have a broad spectrum of surfaces that people can watch the stream on, but unfortunately today it is only one surface, but that's okay. That's okay. We like Airmozilla. Okay, so that problem is done. That was like I didn't expect that to be so easy, but there we go. We fixed a problem. Let's work on some tab submit bugs. Hooray! Fixed the Middleclick issue. Released 0.5.0. So if form submission is something that you've ever wanted to do and see the results in a new tab, maybe like a use case is there's a form that you have to submit again and again and again with like minor changes, and you don't want to have to like keep hitting back. You might want to try tab submit basic, which the source code is here. And where is the, oh, you know what I should do is add the product page to the repo. Edit website. There you go. Yay! And which version? I think I'm still at version, oh, 0.5 has gone out. Woo! That was fast. Got through that review queue got flushed. Amazing. Well, there you have it. I'm just gonna quickly message Ryan VM and let him know. Let him know that this has been fixed, and he can try testing it. Hey yo, just pushed tab submit basic 0.50 to AMO, and it just appeared. If you update, you should get Middleclick support back on forms on every. You should have Middleclick support back. You may need to reload forms that you already have loaded for this to take effect. Okay, so that's done. Let's move on. Well, actually, I might want to quit while I'm ahead, because unfortunately I'm only streaming on the one thing, and I think I have like I have a meeting in 12 minutes. I forgot to mention that. I have an unavoidable meeting coming up, which blows, but it also means that we can quit while we're ahead. And but before we do that, we've got a good 11 minutes. Maybe we can take a deeper look in this mystery with the cursor. So back to the Windows cursor problem. So remember, what I did was I made it so that we don't dispatch the mouse move event to Gecko if we notice that the mouse is in the draggable area. And you remember what the symptoms of the bug were, is that like the mouse would change like from that to pointer, and it's not doing it now. Like this is the desired behavior. And it stays up and down, the up and down shape. It stays the up and down shape whenever I drag. Now the problem with that is I'm pretty sure I can't ship that because it's going to break picture-in-pictures behavior. Like I'm pretty sure one of the things I rely on is those mouse move events so that we know if the mouse enters here. Right now we are getting no mouse move events, and we need those. So that can't ship, but at least we know it's related. So what is it about dispatching the mouse move event that is causing this issue? Well, I can maybe make this... Ooh, I got a heart from Ryan VM for... Alright. I got a heart from Ryan VM for fixing the tab submit basic stuff. Booyah! Waka, 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 waka. I'm going to let him know that I did it while streaming. I also fixed it while streaming. Once Joy of Coding episode 181 is available on demand, you can see how I did it if you're curious. Okay. What do I want to do? Well, I'm going to make it so that I'm going to see what influences, like now that we have this piece of information, if not mouse in draggable area, we do this. We can then special case when we're in the draggable area, and we can like start tweaking things. Else, okay, let's do some special things. What happens if well, there's another piece of information. What is this result? What do we do with the result? Because like we are in this giant switch statement, and I've seen this a couple times, that there's this result. And maybe if mwind return result, and we're in this message that's like, or we're in this method called, this is like the main native event handler, and it's called process message. And what happens when we with the return value there? Win32 process message. Or like MDN. Process message Windows. Come on, this is not an unusual. I don't think it's an unusual method name. NS window process message. Do you have to register and it's called something else? Process message. Process message. And window process internal. Oh, I see. So this is probably the native function. And then we call this like internal function process message. So what do we do? What's interesting about WinProc internal? Oh, you know what? That's probably yet another internal name. Where do we register that? Proc internal, call window proc, crash protected. Window proc internal. In NS window proc. So window proc. What calls this? Window proc. NS window create. Set window long pointer GL win proc WND proc. Okay, so window proc. Callback function. So what do we do with the return value of the callback? Return value. The return value is the result of the message processing and depends on the message sent. Okay, so in the mouse move, what does the return value do? Oh, I could have gotten here. Okay. Return value. If an application processes this message, it should return 0. So let's take a look at the return values, just to make sure I know what's going on here. Print in draggable area, result is, and here's a trick to print Boolean values in C++ is I'll do the ternary and use some ternary there. And we got 4 minutes, so maybe we can get this built and we can check it out, and then we'll call the episode. And then I guess I'll have my meeting in this room because I really don't have much time. I don't have time to like set up or tear down or anything. Maybe I should even like, well, 4 minutes. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, we're linking Zool. We're gonna be all right. And what is my meeting time here? I've got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Okay, we can do it, folks. We're gonna be all right. Linking Zool, bum 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 bum. Let's play some soon. Oh, let's just do it. Go. Now, in order to get that printf stuff, we have to run with -console. We don't have to do that on Mac OS or Linux, but we do in order to get a console on Windows, unless we do other special things. So, draggable area result is false. In draggable area, result is false. So false. That's what's happening, is we're returning false. So let's go back. Do we ever return true? Draggable area result is false. False. And that's probably fine, actually. False. I think effectively this means that, like, we've got, unfortunately, yeah, I gotta go. SDK is like, Mission Impossible the meeting. And I wish I had some like Mission Impossible music, but I'm gonna have to play this one instead. I gotta get out of here, folks. Thank you so much for watching this rather short and somewhat disastrous episode. It wasn't so bad. Things didn't go according to plan. It's a short episode, but we did fix a real problem for a real user, which feels really, really good. But I'm gonna have to cut this episode short. And I will see you next week with episode 182. Thank you so much for watching The Joy of Coding. Take care. Bye-bye. See ya.